All right, joining me at this time is a singer-songwriter out of Tennessee. Charley Woods is joining me right now. How's it going?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing real good. Before I begin, my sincere apologies for the circumstances.
Oh, it's all good. It's
Uh,
totally fine. It worked out better anyway. I was in a
yeah.
pretty terrible service there. I'm in Louisville right now for a show.
Oh, you in Louisville? I live in Lexington.
Yeah.
I thought your show was yesterday. It said the 29th.
Yes, no, I'm still in the area. We're just now getting out.
Oh, okay. You on your way out. Okay.
Yeah.
So on my end, what happened was it's my brother-in-law's birthday. I go to the dinner, and the food took forever to get cooked. It
Uh,
it took forever for me to get the check, and by the time I leave the restaurant, the show starts at 8 o'clock, and
uh,
I did not get to my place until 8:30.
oh,
Uh,
man. It's
so
always when that happens and you have something to do that they're taking
yeah,
longer, huh?
and if this have nothing to do with family, I will be very mad right now. But
Right, right. I completely
yeah,
understand. It's totally fine.
yeah. So just so you know, but how was the show at Louisville? How did it
It
go?
was great. We had it was a pretty long set, so it's normally I have a 45 minutes to an hour and a half set, but this one was 4 hours in fact. So it was pretty good though. I had made a lot of new friends, which was fun. But yeah, Louisville turned out to be a really really cool city. My guitar player, my fiance actually, him and I really wanted to spend a little extra time in the cities that we play in, so it turned out to be really fun.
That's pretty cool, and
Yeah.
hopefully the next time you come to Kentucky, whether it's Louisville or hopefully my neck of the woods in Lexington,
Yeah.
that would be nice.
For sure. I'll have to
So
make time to do that.
yeah, so now for you, what made you decide to get into music? How did it all started off for you?
Oh, man. Well, I get asked that question a lot, and to tell you the truth, it's kind of like asking somebody how they got into eating food or breathing air. It was kind of always a part of my life, music. I was exposed to it at a very, very young age. My mom was in the entertainment business. Um, and, yeah, I just kind of my mom tells me the old story. I was around 4 years old, and she heard me starting to harmonize with her in the back seat of the car, or with the radio or something, and it was then that she kind of knew that something was going to happen with me in music. So, but on numbers terms and ages, I picked up a guitar at age 11 and started putting melodies to the poetry I was writing as a kid, and had my first performance at age 14, and just I haven't stopped since. I haven't really considered anything else. It was kind of the sense that I thought everybody did music when I was a young girl. I kind of figured it was so normal for me that I just thought everybody did it. But, you know,
As the saying goes, Mama
yeah,
knows. Mama knows. She
that's right. Mama knows.
and so shout out to moms.
That's right. Shout
And
out to moms, Marsha Woods, always knowing.
so was there anyone musically that influenced you, that inspired you to get into music? And if so, who are some of the artists? They could be any artist
Oh,
of
there's
any
so
genre.
many. To tell you the truth, it's kind of an interesting flair when I get into it. My mom, at an early, it was right when he had just started making music and came out with his first album. But believe it or not, my mom was a huge fan of John Mayer, and while she would clean the house or do dishes, she would play his first CD, Room for Squares, in the living room entertainment center as she did chores in the house. And I grew up in a tiny house on the river, and you could hear that entertainment center throughout the entire house. So it was by the time I was like 6 years old, I knew every word to every song on that album before I even like knew who John Mayer was. So it wasn't until I grew up and came to his music on my own that I realized he's really influenced a lot of music that I had in me. And along with Shania Twain, I can't forget her. She's when it comes to style and any of the country influence that I have, I have to give all my credit to Shania. She's good at what she does, and for her to continue to do what she does and has had so much success, she's a legend to me. It was a huge highlight when I got to meet her.
I have something to confess as it pertains to Shania Twain.
Yeah?
When it comes to country female artists, I think she's like my country crush.
No way.
I must confess. I guess the "I Feel Like a Woman" music video may have played a role into that regard.
And
Yeah.
you're not alone in that. There are thousands of men across the country that, man, I feel like a woman. That music video really changed some people's lives. It's incredible. She's a wonderful, wonderful human. Beautiful soul inside and out.
I mean, I do listen to country music from time to time, but I didn't have that crush feel that is until that video came along, and and I guess that may have been what got me into listening to country music. And
you and a lot of people for sure. She does it.
You know, and now I listen to Blake Shelton. I listen to the band Perry. I listen to Miranda Lambert, especially. There's a local singer in Lexington who was a huge fan of hers, and now she pretty much got me listening to Miranda Lambert because she does covers of her songs.
Yeah.
But Shania Twain.
Yeah, Miranda's a good one too. Shania's as good as a guest, but Shania, what's really cool about her is you can really give a lot of credit to who produced her for so many years, Mutt Lange, and I'm solely speaking of just his musical ability. But he really, really helped make the sound of Shania Twain. Rock crossover. He was a producer for Def Leppard. I think maybe AC/DC, is that right? There's another rock band a huge rock band that he produced, but when he found Shania, I could bore you all day long about Shania trivia, but anyway, she's the rock country fusion thing is awesome, and I think Miranda has a little bit in that like regard in her as well, for sure.
Shout out to Shania. I hope she's still doing music still, which I'm hoping she is, but thank you for that video. I can't get over it. Just the thought of it. Now, obviously, you just finished the Louisville show. Do you have any other upcoming shows, upcoming performances you want to promote?
I do. I have a show coming up, a couple in Nashville, actually. One on Tuesday. I have a show in Nashville at this place called Puckett's. I like to do a lot of string of Puckett shows. That's turning out to be a really awesome favorite venue string of mine. There's about 5 locations, I believe, within Tennessee. And that's on Tuesday, the 2nd, and then I have a show coming up on the 6th, which is a week from today, at this place called Crimson Moon in Dahlonega, Georgia, a lovely town. It's a favorite town of mine, probably at least in my top 3. It's a wonderful place on the planet. But, I'm not sure when I'll be back to Kentucky, but I have those 2 dates coming up. And I do know I have a date at a place that's in Nashville, and they actually stream the shows live there. It'll be a writer's round. But for the life of me, I can't tell you. Actually, no, I can't. It's August 24th. It's a Wednesday. And if you go to, I think it's writersartist.com. It's the weirdest address, but if you head to like my Facebook and stuff and all my social media, I'll stream it there as best I can. But that's actually a live streaming show whenever I'm there. So if you head to my website and see where I'm touring next, you'll see that that date on the 24th is streaming. So that'll be really cool.
I'll definitely keep my eye on that streaming
Please
show
do.
for sure, and so I can get a glimpse of what's to expect when I do have that opportunity to see you perform in person. So,
Yes, exactly.
so,
Writerartist.com. It should be the address.
so the song that you sent me is called Half the Girl.
hmm
Um, Talk a little about writing the song and what's it all about.
So that song actually does have a really sweet story. My significant other, who's with me right now, he's pumping gas at the moment as we're heading out of town, but we started dating a few years back, and when it was about a year and a half in, where we realized, we started having those normal couple fights like everybody should, at a healthy amount, and but we also realized that it's not always convenient to talk things through and work things out. Like, there's not always time, and you really have to manage your time the same way that you do everything else in being in a couple. And so he had to go to work, and I had to do my own thing, and it was at an inconvenient time where I really wanted to talk things through, but it left me really frustrated. So I was sitting in the apartment by myself, in his apartment, and I just kind of picked up the guitar, and I was like, all right, I'm going to rehearse some songs right now, and had no, intention to write or anything like that, but I just kind of picked up the guitar, and before I knew it, 10 minutes had passed, and I had a song. It was finished, and I played it for him when he got back, and we didn't fight after that. Whatever it was that we were fighting about then, it just kind of wasn't ever a thing. And he proposed to me a few years later, so I think it worked, or served its purpose. So it's a cool story. I never ever thought, that it was going to be my single, but it's crazy. It was for years. I mean, that was years ago when it was written. So it was intended to just be, a few months ago, Justin and I were the only two people that knew it existed, and now months have passed, and there's thousands and thousands of people across the nation to hear it. So that's a pretty weird thing to.
That is quite a story.
Yeah.
And shout out to your man.
Yeah.
For holding you down.
That's right. That's right. I love him very much.
What I've learned about you recently, other than the fact that you are a remarkable singer-songwriter,
Well, thank you.
You like to make flyers, show graphics, posters, one sheets.
That's right.
You like to make posters for artists, obviously. So, and it's rare that it's one thing for artists to make other people do posters for them, but you're like, skip that. I'm gonna do it my own. I'm doing my own stuff. So, what got you into making your own flyers for your own shows or shows that you are part of?
Yeah, dude, props for finding that out. That's awesome. Yeah, that really it's crazy. It just kind of started on its own. It has I'll give you kind of a short end of it, but it starts truly all the way back from when I was a senior in high school. It was the end of the year, and some pretty crazy things had happened my junior year, actually, and going into my senior year that had to do with the CMA Awards, Brad Paisley, Chris Young. I got to collaborate with some really, really huge artists and perform live on the show, which was great. We did red carpet footage and Good Morning America the day after, performed at the CMA Fest the year after. It was a crazy, crazy ride. So it was a huge flash in the pan kind of experience because I was so young. So what that had given me was the type of exposure that kind of scored me my artist development and management deal, and I had my first publishing deal before I graduated high school. So it was a different world. I was kind of thrown into it pretty quickly, not in a bad way whatsoever. I mean, I embraced it for sure, but I actually had to sit down, and on my left side I had college applications or my acceptance letter from Belmont University. I was accepted into their music program, and then to my right I had this publishing contract. So it was really I literally had to choose. And I went with the contract. I decided to jump head in, and I never looked back. I said no to college, but what happened is what this has to do with kind of doing my own graphics. It seems insignificant, but truly, at such a young age, I became so immune to the idea of being independent, and I truly didn't know what that meant yet. And I'm sorry, my phone's going off right now. I'm trying to. Okay. But I really didn't know what that meant, truly, to be like all on your own and to not have like a company backing you or a manager doing work for you or anything like that. So to have had that instead, and it worked backwards, like I had a company for me at first and had a company do things for me and really had to ride backseat for a long time. And there's things that you have to abide by whenever you're under a contract like that. So in a lot of ways, I was a little sheltered, and it's by no means anything negative towards that company. I'm still in contact with them and love them very much. They're like family, but it really held me back to a lot of opportunities. And so when that contract had ended, the man that was actually managing me at the time had passed suddenly, and it kind of sent me into a whirlwind. And I'll make it back. I'll diverge back into the subject, I promise. But it really made me realize, like, what being independent really means. And I just kind of decided, when Gordon, my manager, had passed away, it was kind of like a snap happened inside me, and that was when my contract ended, like, at the same time. So I really was just like, all right, I got to do this. Like, I have to do this. I have to do everything, and I'm not going to look back. It was kind of like being in the same seat that I was in before I got into a contract, where I was like, am I doing college? Am I doing music? And I had to ask myself the same question, like, am I just going to sit here, or am I going to do this on my own and go like take the bull by the horns? And I did. And so since then, every single thing that happens that an artist has to think of, like booking, networking, collaborations, management, marketing, social media management, like, so there's so much involved that I just can't say no. Like, there's nothing that I can say no about. So then things came when I was like, all right, I got to get people to my shows. Like, I got to get people interested in going. So I would look at these other artists and what they're doing that I'm not. And graphics is one of these things where I'm like, dude, it makes them look really awesome. Like, it looks really clean cut, and it's cool to see that they look as if they're taken seriously. And so I got an app on my tablet and just started playing around with it, and soon enough, I kind of got the hang of it, and people really started noticing and thinking that, like, I really had my stuff together. And so then it just kind of started into, like, people started asking me, like, dude, who does your stuff? Who does your graphics? So I'm like, I do them, actually. I kind of got the hang of it. It doesn't take me a while. I'll make one for you if you want. And they're like, yeah. So I've had to, like, make it into this little micro business. It's pretty cool. Got my first client about a week ago, so it's neat. It goes along with kind of how I believe you're supposed to be in the business, where you should always collaborate. You should always network with other people and build other people up. You can't get to the top by climbing onto others. So, I mean, if there's ever anything that can break the ice between me and another artist that I'd love to collaborate with, it's a show graphic. It's like, hey, tell me where you're playing, and I'll get people there by, posting it on social media. So it's turned out to be really fun. Cool.
That is amazing. I used to do graphics, but it was mostly through Photoshop, and then for some reason Photoshop did too many changes, and I was like, I'm done with it. I'll just be typing it on social media. Hey, this person's coming to the show. Check it out.
Yeah.
So,
and that's kind of another marketing ploy that I use as well, because I found the same thing with Photoshop, is they make changes sometimes, or some people would just overwhelm to begin with. Like, they're like, I tried to do the graphic thing, but I just can't. My brain doesn't work like that. So I figured, why not? I mean, to help people out, for sure.
Well, if you're looking for future clients, I would like to be one, considering that.
Hey, man, you got it, for sure.
I have a show coming up, It's the 9-year anniversary of the show on August
Oh.
27th. So, I mean, you can just put, I don't know how the graphics gonna look per se. I guess you can,
Okay.
I guess I'll let your creative juices go with that one. But,
Yeah,
and,
well, that's
you know,
totally done between you and me. I mean, we can talk about that for sure, man. You got my contact info. Shoot me an email. Let's do it.
yeah, absolutely. I'll message you about that within a week or two.
Yeah, please
And
do, man.
and for people that wants to network with you or get in touch with you, whether it's booking shows or collaborations or studio
Mhm.
time or book you for shows, why don't you go ahead and let people know about your social media links and where can people hear your music and purchase your music?
Yeah, definitely. So the big hub is, of course, charleywoods.com, where you can find all the info, all of my social media stuff, and that's spelled Charley, and then Woods, Woods. So if you head to charleywoods.com, you'll see all that stuff, where I'm playing next, and social media. But as far as that, facebook.com/charleywoodsmusic. I think I'm on Instagram as Charley Woods Music as well. I'm on SoundCloud, Bandcamp as Charley Woods Music. Twitter is Charley Sings. That's the one that I think is different. YouTube, I'm not on YouTube as much as the others, but YouTube is Watch Charley. But yeah, if you can remember Charley Woods Music or just charleywoods.com, you can find all my stuff there. My song is on iTunes right now, so search Charley Woods. And yeah, shoot me an email, man, or go to the contact page on my website, and that goes straight to me. So I can see everything that's going on. If anybody has a question or you just want to chat, for sure.
Well, Charley, it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you very much.
I'm glad that we was able to get this interview done, given the circumstances on both of us.
Yeah, man, it
And,
worked out.
and just for the record, people, if you wanna show graphic from Charley, it costs $10.
That's right.
Um,
$10 a pop, but hey, I do like a huge tour coming up, and you want to make a bunch of graphics ahead of time, I'll hook you up.
okay, I'm definitely gonna keep you in mind because I got an anniversary show coming up, and I
Yeah.
definitely want me a poster, for sure. So I'll definitely keep you in mind within the next week or two.
Yeah, man.
So
And if anybody's listening too, have anybody that listens, give me a shout out on any of that social media. I love connecting with people and finding out where we met. That's one like cool hobby I love to have. I love meeting new friends and seeing where somebody found me. It's really, really neat.
well, you sure as heck got a friend in me for sure.
That's right.
So thank you for your time. Continued success. And I hope to see you back in Kentucky in the future. And maybe next time we can have you back on the show, and then we'll do a graphic for that one too.
Yes, please do, man. Thanks a bunch. We'll
Yep.
talk soon.
You have a good night. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.